Across two distant civilizations, warrior codes were born, not simply as rules for war, but as guides for the soul. In Japan, Bushido, the way of the warrior. In Europe, the chivalric code, oath of the noble knight. Separated by oceans yet bound by purpose, these codes gave structure to chaos, meaning to suffering, and dignity to violence. Today on Eternal Philosophies, we explore the virtues, sacrifices, and spiritual visions that made these warriors more than soldiers. They became symbols of eternal ideals. What are Bushido and chivalry? Both Bushido and chivalry arose in feudal worlds, shaped by blood, honor, and divine authority. Their warriors were expected to fight, but also to live by ethical codes. These codes weren't merely practical. They were philosophies of life, created to hold men accountable to something greater than themselves. But what were the roots of these codes? And what can they still teach us? Historical and philosophical origins. Bushido was never a single written doctrine. It was an evolving moral compass, deeply influenced by Confucian duty, Zen Buddhist detachment, and Shinto reverence for nature and ancestry. Chivalry emerged from a fusion of Christian morality, Roman Stoicism, and Germanic warrior customs. Both codes placed the warrior in service, Bushido to a daimyo or clan, chivalry to a king, the church, and God. Comparison. In Bushido, honor was absolute. If lost, life itself lost meaning. The samurai would rather die by his own hand than live in shame. Knights also prized honor, but tied it to public reputation and divine judgment. One's honor was witnessed, recorded, and remembered. Loyalty in Bushido was personal and sacred, total devotion to one's lord. In chivalry, loyalty was layered, to the king, the church, and even romanticized ideals like the lady. Both warriors prized courage, but the samurai cultivated inner stillness before battle, while knights demonstrated bravery in bold, visible feats. And while both offered compassion, samurai saw it as strength under restraint. Knights framed it as Christian duty to serve the vulnerable. Their understandings of justice differed. Bushido sought personal moral clarity. Chivalry upheld religious and social order, the enemy's role. The samurai often honored their opponents, recognizing them as mirrors of their own code. Victory was not triumph over the weak, but the overcoming of an equal with precision and grace. Losing to a worthy foe was not shameful. It was part of life's grand rhythm. Knights shaped by the worldview of Christian Europe often saw non-Christians as enemies of the faith, infidels. Religious war gave moral clarity, but sometimes blinded compassion. Still, legends tell of knights who spared their foes, healed the wounded, and respected valor on the other side. In both Bushido and chivalry, the enemy was not just an obstacle, it was a mirror, a test, and an opportunity to rise above savagery. Women, love, and inspiration. Women held different places within each code, but both were sources of strength and refinement. In Bushido, women were often quiet anchors of the home, epitomes of wisdom, endurance, and maternal power. Romantic love existed, but it was controlled, measured, often subordinate to duty. For knights, the lady became a symbol, almost mythic. Courtly love celebrated a chaste, noble longing. A knight would perform great deeds for a lady who might never be his. It was idealized devotion, not carnal desire. In both cultures, love was not a distraction, but a reminder that even warriors must aspire to beauty, grace, and emotional depth. Religion and spirituality. The inner life of the warrior was shaped not only by steel, but by spirit. In Japan, Zen Buddhism trained the samurai to see death as an illusion, to act without attachment or hesitation. The goal was clarity, action without thought, mastery without pride. The sword became an extension of the mind. The moment before combat was the same as the moment of stillness in meditation. In the West, knights were children of the church. They confessed, prayed, fasted, and believed their swords could serve God's justice. Spiritual practice and moral confession made the knight's cause noble, his soul as much a battlefield as the fields of France or Jerusalem. Whether seeking satori or salvation, both warriors saw combat as a crucible for the soul. Symbols, ceremonies, and artifacts. The codes of warriors lived not only in words, but in symbols and rituals. The katana was more than a weapon. It was the soul of the samurai, forged in fire, folded 1,000 times, and kept with reverence. To draw it without cause was a moral failure. Tea ceremonies, armor etching, writing poetry. Each action reflected the warrior's pursuit of perfection. Knights had their own rites. The dubbing ceremony turned a man into a knight with vows, scripture, and ritual blessing. His sword was sacred, often laid upon altars, etched with crests, blessed with holy oil. Tournaments and jousts weren't just sport, they were rehearsals of courage and pageantry. These objects and rituals taught warriors that even violence could be tempered by purpose and dignity. Decline and legacy. Nothing lasts forever, not even the warrior's code. In Japan, the Meiji Restoration dismantled the samurai class. Gunpowder and politics made swords obsolete. The code faded, but its spirit remained. In Europe, the Renaissance brought new ideas, and the knight became a relic of legend. Gunpowder, cannons, and bureaucracy ended the age of personal valor. Yet these codes never vanished. They evolved into military traditions, films, martial arts, and ethical systems. Bushido inspired Aikido, karate, and Japanese leadership ideals. Chivalry shaped Western notions of gentlemanly conduct, romantic love, and honor in battle. Even now, we feel their echoes in games, films, literature, and personal codes of honor. Their importance today. In an age of noise, speed, and shortcuts, the ancient warrior codes still whisper, live with honor, act with courage, serve something greater than yourself. Bushido and chivalry weren't fantasies. They were hard-won ideals, born in fire, tested in blood, and passed through generations. And though their swords have rusted, their virtues remain sharper than ever. Thank you for watching Eternal Philosophies. If this journey moved you, subscribe, share, and explore more timeless truths with us.